हेलो अभी आधा ओके वो ओपन करे तो फिर रिसाउंड हो रहा फाइन सो today everyone you'll have to open this website academic.moodlecloud.com, click on login, put in your username and password. Fine. Once you sign in, you will see all the courses which have been added in your account. So you should go to site home, and here you will see all the courses. I think you will see only one course because this account belongs to me. You can see a lot of courses are there here, but you will see only one course for you, and that is Solidedge training. So go inside Solidedge training, and once go through the agenda and resources. Okay, so this is the one video which explains everything about this particular course. Fine. So what you have to do and how you have to do, what are the files, where the files are saved, and everything has been explained here. Okay, so I'll just play the video here, watch it and do accordingly. If you have any doubt, you can let me know. Okay? Yes, you just need to follow the video. No. You will not be writing the test now, and you will be writing the test after the whole program is over. Okay, so you have to learn the Solidedge software first, right? The way you use SolidWorks is very different from other software, as I told. Okay, the icons look different, commands have different names, sometimes the process is also different. Fine. So we need to understand how Solidedge operates first, and what are the different conventions, what are the different color conventions, how the constraints appear, how to modify the constraints, how to give the command. Fine. What is a command bar, what is an icon, what is a feature. Fine. What is synchronous modeling and asynchronous, right? Both the methods are available. So we will be learning that slowly, right? So first let us go to this first video, and in this first video he will explain what this course is, how many videos are there in this, and what files are provided, how you need to change the files to practice. Okay, so I'll just play this, so you all watch it. Okay.
Siemens Mainstream Engineering. What I want to show you in this series of videos is fundamentals training that I typically give to educators. This is an 18-hour course, usually spanning 3 days. So, hello, my name is Doug Staymark. I'm the Solidedge Academic Technical Manager for Siemens Mainstream Engineering. What I want to show you in this series of videos is fundamentals training that I typically give to educators. This is an 18-hour course, usually spanning 3 days, 6-hour days. And so what I want to cover in this series of videos are just the highlights of the PowerPoints as well as all of the hands-on examples so that you have that for your reference. This is the agenda. There's 10 different lessons that we will cover. I don't have those broken down by day because it really depends on how the class goes. If we have teachers that have a lot of experience with CAD, then we can get through these quickly. If we have a lot of newbies, then it takes a little bit longer. So some of these may get pushed to the next day or span 2 days. But typically I can get through everything in 18 hours. And so these are just the different topics that we will cover. We start out with the very basics of 2D, working through 3D, building assemblies and drawings, and then we finish up with some basic simulation and also the fun part of rendering the finished models. There's also some additional resources in the agenda PowerPoint for educators and for students. There's a lot of on-demand training in a library on Learning Center. Learning Center is free to access. Just follow that link and put in your information, and you'll get access to hours and hours and hours of free training and curriculum. There are some student resources as well for different tutorials that you can do. We also have some Siemens Engineering Design courses written by the same authors that wrote Project Lead the Way. So if you're familiar with that, you'll be familiar with the kind of the style of those lessons. We have a Solidedge community where educators can get together and collaborate and share ideas as well as get information from Siemens. And then we support several different competitions, academic competitions, such as Green Power and First Robotics are two of the main ones. F1 in Schools is another one. There's also a resource library, just a place where you can go to get tutorials and things. And a lot of the curriculum and things that are also in the Learning Center are also up on Udemy. That's somewhere you go frequently. So with that, let's go ahead and get started on the courses.
Over. So in the agenda, you can see.
Hello.
So if you have इसको निकाल दो, प्लग निकालो, ना तो ये ऑफ कर स्विच ऑफ. Okay, hello. So if you have listened to this video carefully, you will see that he explained about what the course is. So he is telling key shot as well. Why? No. Key shot is another attachment for Solidedge which allows you to do rendering, animation, rendering and all. Okay, anyway, so those who are installing, just give some time here. Okay, watch here, listen to this. After the program is done, you'll still get half an hour or something, so you can continue installing to it. Okay? So if you have listened to this carefully, he has told that he has designed this course in terms of number of lessons. So the way they do it is 18-hour session. They're completing in 3 days. So 6 hours each day they will be covering. So in 3 days, in a span of 3 days, they will cover everything. So but we are doing only 1 or 2 hours on a daily basis. So that is why our course is stretched over a period of 2 weeks. Okay, so you need not follow it strictly day wise or something. If you are completing a lesson fast, you can directly go for the next lesson, right? It's all up to your speed. So the faster you cover it up, the more time you can spend in practicing extra stuff and getting all your doubts cleared. Okay, so that's what I will suggest you all. Take it at your own pace. If you are not understanding a particular thing, there is no problem in redoing the thing. Fine, understand the thing and remember the color conventions, especially the color conventions. Like fully constrained objects appear as black when it is in SolidWorks, but the same color convention is different here. Fine. So you will have to check out. You'll have to keep your mind open and see which constraint when it is opening and all. Okay. And one more thing is that in SolidWorks, by default, every dimension, every constraint dimension will be locked. Locked means once you change the dimension, you cannot drag and change the geometry. You cannot drag and change the geometry. Okay. But in Solidedge, by default, the dimensions will be unlocked. That means even after adding the dimensions, you will be able to drag and change the geometry. As you drag the geometry, the dimensions will keep changing. So unless you manually lock a particular dimension, it will not work as you expect it in SolidWorks. Okay. So there are these things which are very different, and you may need to learn it from scratch. So this is about the first one. Let's go for the lesson 1. And if you see lesson 1, once again it consists of a video and there are 2 activity files. Fine. So these activity files you need to download. So just click on the activity file and it will give you an option to download it. So save it at some convenient place, mostly in D drive somewhere. Save it, and this file you need to open it in Solidedge. This file you need to open it in Solidedge, so it will slowly open. So meanwhile, what you can do is you can go to the videos part and watch this video again. Okay. So there is a video for every lesson which he has recorded and sent, along with the files required for that particular lesson. Okay. So I'll just play this now. 1 minute. First I have to mute this. So I'm muting my microphone and I'll turn on the speakers so you can listen to the video. Okay. Start.
So let's go ahead and get started here with lesson 1. Now to show the PowerPoints, I typically right click on the PowerPoint and click show. This avoids opening the PowerPoint and then having to click the the show button within PowerPoint. And then basically you have 2 instances of PowerPoint running, and when you're flipping between Solidedge and the PowerPoint, that way you won't get the wrong one. So this way you only end up with the the actual presentation. So I'm going to click show. So it's going to explain all the different default environments, the different areas of the user interface, how you're going to create, open, and save Solidedge files, and where you go for help and learning tools. So I'm not going to go through every slide that we go through, but just some of the highlights that you do want to point out is the edit list. Oftentimes when you load Solidedge, it's loaded by default with the inch system, and if you're using metric, which this entire class is all in metric, by the way, so that may be something that you would want to show is going into Solidedge, click on the application button, click on new, and then here are the default environments, and if you click on edit list, that gives you the option to switch between inch and metric. If you're teaching in the US, I typically go to ANSI metric, and that all has to do with actually in the draft environment, which will be in the 2nd or 3rd day. So but just so you know, that has to do with the way that the drawings are laid out. They're laid out more in 3rd angle projection, which is a US standard. So typically use these 2 if you're in the US. If you're in Europe or Asia, then you may wish to use one of these other standards that's more common to your area. So again, I'm using ANSI metric for mine, so I click OK, and then all the ANSI metric templates will show up there. So that's some typically that I do show during the PowerPoint. So you see here I just have one instance of the PowerPoint I can go back to and continue to walk through the different things about saving documents, the different areas of the user interface, select tool, quick pick, and the Pathfinder, and where you go for help. So that basically covered, the first one. I don't do a lot of demoing in that first PowerPoint.
It's a play karo, but this time with mute. Okay. So in this video, he is talking about some, so in this video, he's talking about some basic settings which are available in Solidedge. So as soon as you install, the first thing it asks you is choose what kind of interface you want. Okay. So there are 3 options, right? One option is to go full-fledged. Full-fledged means all the options that are existing in Solidedge will become visible. But if you see a high number of controls, it will be a very overwhelming experience, especially for new users. So that's why it is better to go with a standard normal interface in the beginning. Fine. So that is the beginning wizard, and you can always go back to that wizard anytime you want. Once you become familiar with all the commands in the normal stage, you may want to see more extra commands. Fine. So you may go back to that wizard and choose advanced visibility. So in the advanced version, in the advanced interface, almost all the commands will be visible. Next is choosing the units. So as you can see, if you go to the options menu, you will have all the units available, right? So let us see. Okay. Oh shit. Rejoin. All right. Oh, fine. So the Solidedge interface is open for me now here. So if you click here, the top left button, okay, the top left button, if you click, that will open this particular interface. So in this, you have the settings option, and then go to options, and this is where you'll have a lot of different options. Okay, so this is not something he was talking about, right? He was talking about something else. So tools, settings, add-ins, customize. Now this is customization. Add-ins, add-ins. So where had he gone exactly? Okay, in the new option, fine. So we have to go in the new option, edit list. Okay, so when you go to new option, new file option, there is an option here called edit list. So if you go inside that, you will get all the options for different units. Fine. So you have DIN, I think this is for Dutch, ANSI is for American, ISO is a international standard, metric, and all these things. Fine. So whichever standard you want to follow, you can choose it. So we'll be going with ISO. Click OK, and you can see all the ISO templates have replaced the earlier whatever options were there. So when you go for a new file now, and new file you can again open in one of these modules. Fine. So this one you can see this is an assembly module, wherein if you have already created the parts, you can assemble them. This is the sheet metal part, wherein a small thickness plate you will be bending that and generating the flattened diagrams. Then this is metric part. So part drawing is where we usually start. Fine. So any software when you start, we'll be starting with part drawing. In part again we will be first learning about sketching, and after we are done with sketching, those sketches we will use to generate solid models. Fine. So we will learn about these slowly as we proceed. So this first video it just explains about the basic stuff. So and okay, so that file, okay, I'll have to open that file, right? So next again you'll have to open the activity files and check out how the activity files open up and how they work here. So I think I have opened it here already. Okay, downloaded it. Yeah, there it is. One more big problem. I think the files provided is for the newer version, whereas when Windows 7 we have installed the older version of Solidedge. So I'll try to save it in the older version by opening it here. Let us see if it is allowing that. Okay. Lots of challenges in completing this. Right. So CAD CAM, Solidedge. That I should be sharing the screen, right? Okay, so gone inside activity, let me download it, open it. Okay, so the first file contains this sketch. The first file contains this sketch, and if you drag the sketch, Okay, if you take hold of a point and try to drag it, it won't allow because I think they're locked. So if you double click on any dimension, it will allow you to change it probably. Yes. So when you change the dimension, you can see that the values are changing. Fine. So this is just a sample sketch for you. This is just a sample sketch for you. All right. Double click. Okay. So you can open it, try to modify the values. So I'll just try to save it as an older version of file. Save as and save as. Okay. Oh my god. So I think this is a big problem because it's not allowing me to save in an older version. Let me see if there is another option, any other option to save it in an older format. Anyone is able to open it in the older version? Activity file? Please let me know. Okay, community Siemens. Let's see. I'm checking it in the community of the Siemens website. Okay. Oh god. So I think this is another big problem with Solidedge. The files are not backward compatible, which means old file created in older version will open up fine in the newer version, but a file created in newer version, there's no way of opening it in the older version of software. So one thing we can do is I'll just create that same file over here in the new version, and you can try to create the same file in the older version on your desktop. Okay. Yeah, right now. So you will be needing this system, right? How to do this in an alternative. So for once you can share the system with someone. Okay. All right. So let us do something. Fine. So go to new file over here. Go to new file over here and go to metric part. Okay, go to new file and choose metric part. So if you are not having ISO appearing here, then go to edit list and choose ISO metric from here. Fine. So we'll be using ISO standards throughout our course. So many Americans use the ANSI and all other things. So we'll be using ISO. Fine. So go here to the new file. Go under new, edit list, ISO metric, click OK, and then click metric part. So this will open up a new part file. Okay, this will open up a new part file, and when you watch it for the first time, you will see that all the interfaces are coexisting. So sketch is also available here itself, and you can see 3D sketching options, surfacing, and even 3D modeling, 3D solid modeling options are all present here itself. So when you are doing the sketch, let's say I want to start with a line. So whenever you choose a sketch command, all the planes will appear here like this. All the planes here will appear like this, and this you will find very strange if you have used other software. So to lock the plane, first we will have to lock the plane. Without locking the plane, we cannot draw anything in Solidedge. Fine. And any surface, any flat surface is having an ability to be selected as a plane for sketching. Fine. So as soon as you select line command, for example, all the planes will be visible here. So just hover over whichever plane you want to choose. So let us say I want to draw on the front plane, then I have to hover over this, and you can see here that a small lock icon is appearing here. A small lock icon will appear over there, and below the lock F3 is written. So F3 is a function. You will see the functions at the top of the keyboard, right? F1, F2, F3, F4 up to F12. So F3 is one of those functions. So you'll have to press F3 from the keyboard. As soon as you press F3, that plane will be locked. That plane will be locked. Now any object that you create now, it can be a line or circle and rectangle, anything you create after locking will all be created in the same plane. That will all be created in the same plane. If you want to stop drawing, you have to unlock the plane. You have to unlock the plane. So to unlock the plane, first press escape and then press F3 once again to unlock it. Fine. Once again, when you choose a line command, this is locked. Press yes. So just hover your cursor on the plane which you want to select, and then as soon as it is highlighted, a lock icon will appear. When the lock icon appears with F3 written at the bottom, you have to press F3. No need of clicking. No need of clicking. After it is locked, then you can click to start drawing it. Okay. So this is how you can start drawing the components. So if you want to delete, it's very simple. Just select and delete. Fine. So you will find that this software is much nearer to AutoCAD compared to any other parametric software. Fine. Even AutoCAD works like that only, right? You just draw a sketch, then you extrude the part, then you can move the part around wherever you want, and you have some options to move the face, offset the face, apply draft, right? So it's like that, but it has some much more advanced options to do free editing. Fine. So we'll come across that as we go ahead. So let's go ahead, choose line command. I'll choose the front plane. I'll just keep the cursor on the front plane, press F3. Now it is locked, and I can just click here on the front to orient it properly. Fine. So now I can start drawing the line command. Line, right? So let us see what things we need to draw. Okay. So this is the shape we need to draw. Okay. So let us start with the line. So I'll start here. What is the length here? Horizontal length is 100, right? So while you are drawing, you can feed the lengths. So click and then press 100 and press enter. You can see the 100 length is fixed. Now you can change, you can feed the angle. So angle I want is horizontal. So either I can click to accept it, or I can feed the angle, whatever angle I want. Then I have to go in vertical direction. Not vertical, I think inclined, no? And then somewhat like this. And what I have? Then vertical straight down, right? Then I need to go vertically up. Then go here. So I just have to take a reference here and then come back. Fine. So now the objects have been created, and we can just drag the objects wherever we want. We can drag the objects wherever we want. So some constraints have been applied already on that, like this particular line is horizontal, this is inclined. Fine. All the corners are overlapping so that we get a closed geometry. Fine. And now what we have to do is we have to apply the dimensions one by one. Fine. So what dimensions we need to apply? We have the height, we have this total length, we have this angle, this height, and all those things. So come back to a problem and apply the smart dimensions. Apply the smart dimensions and choose the dimensions one by one. So I need this length. How much is that? It's 100. And then I need, what is the next length I need? This is 50, that is 50. So this, okay, again I have to choose smart dimension. So this is 50, and this length is also 50. What else? This angle is given, so I have to take smart dimension, choose the line and this line. Okay, So I think angle you have to separately select. Angle is not available under smart dimensions. So select this, and you can place it on this side. It will come as acute. If you place it on the other side, obtuse angle will appear. So this angle we want it to be 120. Now slowly, same way you can just go on feeding all the dimensions. So 80 is over, 50, 50, 120, 80 we have to feed out. Okay, so let's go ahead and do the 80. Okay, this is 80. Okay, and then we need to do this cut. Fine. So how to do this cut? I'll have to take, I'll have to start with line. Fine. So I'll have to start somewhere here, go up, and then okay, now I need an arc. Fine. So if you need an arc, you can see there is an option here of arc. Okay, so this here you will see the option of arc, and then choose some length, and then again line till bottom. Fine. So we need to trim this off. So for trimming, you will have an option here. Somewhere here you should have the option to trim. Yeah, here. Okay, so the icon appears different from SolidWorks. So you'll have to hover your cursor over the command if you have an idea. If you don't have an idea about it, and then once this drop down appears, click on it. Then again you just need to scribble something, and wherever that scribble passes through, those lines or arcs will be trimmed off. No, I think Keyshot is a separate attachment. It's a completely different software provided along with Solidedge. At home you have not installed it. I'll come to the doubts later. Okay, so because everyone will be attending this, okay, let's finish this and then I'll clear the doubts. So I think there is one constraint which is not applied over here. Let's drag it to that point. Okay, so these 2 points we need to constrain them. Smart dimension, or you'll have to choose one of the constraints. This is horizontal, vertical, this is connect. So click on connect, select this point and select this point. Fine. So connect will do that particular operation. And then this length is given. Now how much is this length? This is 20, right? Select this 20, and what other dimension is given? That radius is 10. So let's go ahead and choose radius as 10. Okay, so now the diagram is complete. Okay, so try to draw this diagram today. Fine. Try to apply all the constraints properly, so that once even when you change the length or anything, it should get modified accordingly as we expect it to get modified. Fine. So horizontal. Yeah, of course. Now, right, I changed it after opening it. Okay, so whatever is the length, you apply it, and after applying the length, please change it. Try to change it. When you change it, the relative constraints should not get modified. So for example, here now this has got modified, right? So it should not happen like this. So if that is happening, then you have to properly apply the constraint. So what constraint we need to apply here to make this in level with this? So connect will take it different direction, parallel, yeah, collinear option you have to select this, select this. Fine. So now even after changing any dimension, this will not change its height. Okay, so apply the proper dimensions and constraints, and then try to modify and check out how it is behaving. Fine. So that's it for today, because a lot of you have not installed the software as of now. So we'll go a little slowly in the beginning. Fine. So as we pick up, we'll cover more and more topics in the coming classes. Okay. So if anyone is joining on online, you can just still contact me. So I'm just keeping the headphone aside for now and moving around, clearing the doubts of those who are attending offline. Okay, so in case you want me to clear any of your doubts, just give me a call. Those who are attending online, just give me a call and I'll come back to the headphone and try to clear your doubts. Fine. All right then, I'm keeping it aside.